Hello everybody, welcome to my live. I'm Laura Roderick. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in San Antonio, Texas. Thank you for joining me. It is a lovely night here in San Antonio. I believe it was 80 degrees and sunny when I was driving home from work, so that was super nice. A little bit cooler for us. We've been a little bit hotter than that lately, so I wasn't here last week because I was out of town, but I'm back this week and I don't think I'm going to travel again for a little while. So I'm excited to start doing more stamping and we're going to have fun tonight. We're going to make some really fun projects. So again, thank you for joining me. I want to get started right away. I don't know how long tonight's going to take because we're doing a few different things tonight that may just take a minute, different techniques. But let's first start with the contest that I usually do. All you had to do was either comment or share my video and I entered you into a drawing. And so this week I was giving away these beautiful party dots. Are these, I can't remember if these are not available right now, but anyway, they are absolutely beautiful colors. And the winner from this week was Danette Linville. So Danette, congratulations. Thank you for commenting on my video. I believe it was on YouTube. Thank you everybody who comments, everybody who shares. Hi Renee, and thank you for sharing. I really appreciate it. It really helps me out. Okay, so we're going to do some butterfly cards tonight. So that's super exciting. Let me just turn you around and we'll just get started on what we're doing. Oh, I almost hit finish instead of turn around. See, I'm rusty. Very, very rusty tonight. It might be a rough one. We'll see. All right, let's turn this down and we'll see what we can do. Wait, what happened? Okay. Pressing buttons that I don't mean to press. Okay, here we go. I think we're good. Let me just open up my iPad so I can see everybody's comments now that I've turned my camera. So how's everybody doing tonight? I hope y'all are having a good week. Renee, that's funny. She says, it's butterflies. It cannot go bad. All right. Hold on. Almost there. Can't find Facebook. There we go. Hold on. My fingers are doing things that they shouldn't be doing, hitting the wrong buttons. All right, here we go. Okay, yay, we're up. Everything's good. Okay, you guys, big things happening at Stampin' Up. The big thing for today is starting today on the 15th of April, Stampin' Rewards have changed. This is a huge change for everybody. Now customers will order and demonstrators will earn 10% rewards on orders of $20 or more. So this is really great news for everyone because every order that's over $20 now, you'll get a 10% reward that's banked. You can accumulate them. You can use them whenever you want on your next order. So this is super exciting. It's going to make some changes in some businesses. So my business is going to change a little bit, but just some minor changes. So yeah, that's happening starting today. I think the site was down for 6 hours today. I went on when I first got up this morning, I think, and I didn't have time when I got home from work to see if it was back up and if it was changed that much or what it looked like, but I'll be doing that tonight after the video. Okay, tonight, this is what we're going to, and I'll talk some more about the rewards as we move along through the video tonight. But tonight, we are going to do the beautiful bokeh suite. Or bouquet. It can be said in two different ways. Both are correct. I had looked it up. So look at these pretty butterfly cards. This is the little suite. We've got the beautiful bokeh paper that we're going to use tonight. Some of these gorgeous itty bitty bokeh mix we're going to use for a shaker card. They've got a couple pages of ideas here for cards. So that's fun, right? Renee, I'm laughing at what you're saying there about the glitches. Good idea. Good idea. Look at this. Fun, fun, fun stuff. Is that it? Just those 3 pages? I'll show you everything up close like I always do. Okay, so that is out of the mini catalog. This stuff is going to some of the stuff is already on last chance, but I know these were out of stock for a while, and I can tell you right now, the embossing folder is on, not back order, but it's on low inventory. So it might go on back order soon. So if you haven't got this suite yet, you should probably get it. Or why are words so hard tonight? The bundle. It's because I'm out of practice. I haven't been here in 2 weeks, which is crazy. All right, here it is. This is the stamp set. Very, very pretty stamps, nice sentiments. So that's part of the bundle. The stamp set, the dies are amazing. We're going to use several of these dies tonight. I didn't use this one. This one has a little line here, so you can actually make a butterfly card that opens in the shape of a butterfly. I didn't go that route, but I've got some other fun things to show you tonight for that. And then the other fun thing that comes with this is this beautiful butterfly embossing folder. And one of the dies fits inside of here. And I'll show you how that works to actually cut and emboss at the same time, which is super fun. So that's what we're going to use. Let me show you the projects quickly. All right, we're going to do this beautiful shaker card. Nice butterflies. This one says time to celebrate. And in the inside it says happy birthday. So we'll make that cute little birthday card. We're going to make this kind of stained glass looking butterfly card. We're going to emboss that and do some coloring. Just a little hello card. Oh, I didn't even finish the inside. I meant to finish the inside. We'll probably finish the inside during the video. Okay, then kind of our basic, I didn't get crazy with fun folds or anything, right? Just looking for some basic easy cards to make with some fun techniques. So this uses a couple of the little butterflies, again, sort of a stained glass look for those. The Everyday Arches dies, which I have not used. This is the first time I'm using them. And this is just a nice little gatefold card, one of my favorites. And this new paper, which is fabulous, and I'll show you where I got that from as we go along. But this might be my favorite card of all of them because I just love the colors so much. I think they're so pretty. I mean, DSP really helps you out, right? Tells you what colors to use, adds a nice background. I love nice DSP. Then we're going to have make this cute little butterfly treat box, and this has a little butterfly treat inside of it, so I'll show you that. We're going to do a little bit of blending with some colors, and again, another paper from that same set that I'll show you, which is a cute little flower DSP for the background. All right, so those are our projects for tonight. Let me put these aside. We're going to start with the shaker card tonight. So everybody loves a good shaker card too, right? And so I ended up using this Azure Afternoon because that's the color of some of the little shaker elements in there. So that's why this one has the Azure and the others don't, right? Okay, here are our pieces for the first card. Now, before I get started, I just want to say, because there are also no host codes anymore, I am still going to be offering kits, free kits with orders, okay? I have upped it. You have to place an order of $50 or more at my website. You have to name me as your demonstrator for that order. And then I'm just going off a date since there's no host codes anymore. So if you order from now until Saturday, the 19th, I'll send you the cardstock, all the things to make this set of cards for free. If you don't want to place an order, you can always purchase the make and takes for $22, okay? I'm sorry I had to raise that a little bit, but without getting stamping rewards anymore, I mean, we don't make that much money off an order. An order of $50 means that I'm basically making $12.50 off the order. It cost me $5 to ship, plus all the supplies, so I'm maybe making $3 off the order of $50. So it might seem like a lot, but I mean, it's really not. So I just wanted to explain that. Okay, standard card base for this card. 8.5, 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. This card is going to open like this. I have standard 5 1/4 by 4 for the inside. We're going to stamp on this, so I'll put it aside. Then I use some of that beautiful bokeh paper, and I just cut a little strip. This is 5 1/4 by 3/4. All right, so that's going to go here, but I want to stamp first just in case anything goes wrong. Let me show you this paper quickly. You guys have probably seen this beautiful paper. I've used a lot of the Berry Burst part of it, but it just comes in all these beautiful colors, and it has this bokeh design and a little bit of a different design on the back. So, I mean, whatever color you want to use. I mean, it's here and it's very beautiful. So we could make these cards in lots of different colors tonight. Okay. Next, we are going to take another piece of 5 1/4 by 4. And this time we're going to put this through our embossing folder. All right, so let me show you how that gets set up. So we've got our embossing folder here. And we're going to take this die right here. This just sets, and it's always on the side that says Stampin' Up, so that's how I know which side I'm going to put it on. I'm going to put it with the raised side towards me because that's going to be towards the middle, towards the cutting, and it just kind of snaps into place like that, okay? I'm going to put my piece of cardstock in here and just kind of place it anywhere you would like. So I am going to, whoops, let me put that back. The way I want to place it is, because this is a shaker card, I need a little bit of room at the top and the bottom. Let me place it a little bit better. Okay, so what I'm talking about is up here and down here. I need a little bit of place to put those strips for the shaker card, okay? So once you have it where you want it, set it through your embossing machine. And the way it's going to come out, let me show you. Cut a couple extras. It's going to come out of your machine just like this, okay? And it's going to cut the butterfly out. So you have this beautiful embossed piece. Can you see how pretty that is with the little butterflies on the outside and the dots? It's very pretty. This embossed piece of the butterfly is beautiful. We're going to save this for another card that we're doing tonight, okay? So after you do that, put that aside and save it. And so this is going to be a layer on our card, all right? And that is what we're going to put our shaker stuff underneath, okay? Then you have a piece of window sheet that's going to go right here. Let me see how big the window sheet is. It's 4 1/4 by 3 1/2. Then I have a scrap of this in color glimmer paper. This is the Petunia Pop, but I think it looks just perfect with the colors that we have. And this is 4 by 3 1/4. Now you're going to take another die, and you're going to take the one that kind of fits right inside here. So these two dies kind of work together. So you're going to take this die right here and put it, run it through your glimmer paper, and it's going to cut out. And then you're going to have this piece right here. Okay. And we're going to put that on top of the window sheet once we get the card done. Okay. All right. Other pieces that we have, excuse me, for this card, we're going to die cut one more thing. And this is, let me put some of my things away here because I don't want to lose anything or make a mess. We're going to do a little butterfly body in the berry burst. So that just gets cut out of my piece right here. See how that lines up like that? And we just cut out the little body. So let me see if I have one. Oh, you know what? I'm lying. We don't want to do this. Yeah, we do. Okay. Did I not do one? Hold on. I probably did not do one. Okay, well, let's do one. I did one in white for another card, so let me get out my mini machine. And let's just run one through real quick. Now, Stampin' Up, we have this machine in 2 sizes. This one is the mini, which is super convenient to keep on your desk, keep close to you. Right? It cuts out a lot of the dies. What this one won't cut out is the big embossing folder. And you can see how much wider it is. So you need the regular machine for that. Okay. So we are going to just put this in and run it through. Pardon my hand. Let me try and get my big fat hand out of the way if I can. And I can't. Sorry. Okay. Now we have our butterfly body. Let me get my take your pick and just poke that out. We have these nice little holes in the dies, so it's easy to get our paper out. Okay? All right, one more piece we need to talk about. Let me put my toys away. Okay. This little piece of Add Your Afternoon, we're going to stamp and emboss on this, and then we're going to fussy cut it. Okay, so we have some work to do here, right? All right, the first thing I want to start with is let's take the window sheet and attach it to the back side of our piece of embossed white. And I'm gonna do that with some glue. So let me get my glue ready. Do you guys cover your glue every time? I'm terrible. I never ever cover it unless I'm going somewhere to stamp and I need to throw it in my bag. I never ever ever cover my glue, which is probably a very bad habit. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I just want to add like a little line of glue on here. So I originally made this card for swaps for on stage. So it's been a minute since I've made this card. So I'm hoping I can remember exactly how I did it. All right, so I want to put that there. And I'm just going to let this dry for a couple minutes. All right, so let's do that. All right, let's do some stamping. All right, so for the inside, this is the easy part, right? We're just gonna stamp, and I'm going to use two colors. I'm gonna use Berry Burst and just stamp one of the little butterflies, and then the Happy Birthday in Azure Afternoon right across that. All right, so let me get out my stamps. I actually need to clean this because it's got Versamark on it. So give me a second to get that cleaned up. You guys, it's been crazy lately with traveling and all the stuff that's been going on. I just feel like, I don't know, it's just been so crazy busy. All right, so I'm just gonna do this right maybe about here. And I probably could have stamped that off, and I think I will. I think that's too dark. So I'm gonna stamp it because I still have ink on it, stamp it off. So it's a little bit lighter. Can you see the difference there? How dark, and then I stamped it off. So this is the second time. There we go. All right. And the reason I wanted it a little lighter is because I'm gonna put the words across. So let me find, I literally got into the craft room 1 minute before I was supposed to go live. So, I didn't have a lot of time to organize things, and thank goodness I got things ready last night for the most part. So I'm hoping I have everything I need. Okay, this is just going to go right across here with a nice, hopefully straight Happy Birthday. I think that looks pretty good. Now we can add our strip, and I'm just going to use a little bit of seal right at the bottom. Okay, and we'll put this on the inside of our card. I love Stampin' Up! Cardstock because you can do something like that and it doesn't show through to the other side, which is awesome. Really, really nice. Okay, all right, inside's done. That was easy, right? Okay, so the next step we're gonna do now, let's do more stamping. Let's do, we're gonna do Time to Celebrate on here. We're gonna stamp it in Versamark. And I just opened a new Versamark. So, give me 1 second. Time to Celebrate. Did I pull it out? I probably didn't. Time to Celebrate. Here it is. Let's put that on a block. I really, you know, I don't know. I feel like when you don't stamp for a little bit, I really struggled a little bit this weekend with these cards. Well, first I was going to do the dinosaur set. And then, I don't know, I just had like, do you ever get blocked and you just can't? I don't know. And so then I put that one away. I'm like, well, that's not going to work this week. I just can't. And then I said, all right, well, what about the butterflies? And then I struggled a little bit with the butterflies too. So I don't know what my little mental block was this week, but I'm glad I finally got something together, right? All right, white embossing powder. So we stamped in Versamark. We're just going to add a little bit of white powder. And then we are going to use our little heat gun and heat emboss. So I'm excited to finally be home and get back into a routine. I mean, I kind of like my routine. I like to be live. I like to make cards. I like to stamp. So that is fun. I'll have to tell you about some of the other stuff I did when we're doing a little coloring. Okay, there we go. All right, now let's take this piece. We're gonna take some of our adhesive strips, which are awesome, and we're just gonna start outlining the butterfly. So I'm gonna want it to be around the edges. Now you don't have to go, you have a couple choices here, I guess is what I'm trying to say. All right, so any place where you want the little bokeh mix, you want to make sure that it's closed off so your little pieces are not going to escape your card, right? So I'm going to start just by doing the edges, just right around the edges. And that's because I want my card to sit right too. But then when it comes down to it, I don't want to have all this extra space here for my little pieces to wander around. Now you can if you want to, that's perfectly fine. But what I might do is just take a little bit of extra and kind of reduce the space so I don't have to use as many of the little sparkles inside. Okay, and I think that's somewhat helpful. So again, I'm just adding my pieces, making sure that the little, that it's tight enough that nothing's going to escape it. Okay, and now you can see I've kind of got a bit of a reduced window for where we're going to put our pieces. So this is going to be flipped over. You won't see it on the other side. Now, another thing I did when I first made this card is I used a piece of the bokeh paper underneath here in the background of the butterfly. But I mean, you truly cannot tell. You cannot see it. So I decided I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it just the regular cardstock. Okay. So we're going to want to put this down on our card. So let's get out our mix before we take off our things. This is the itty bitty bokeh mix. And oh my gosh, you guys, this is so pretty. I mean, can you see the sparkle and the shine on this? Oh my goodness. Hi, Jolene. This is so, so pretty. All right, so I kind of want it right in the middle. So I'm just going to take some and put it here. Make sure that I have enough so we have a lot of sparkles in there. Okay, probably that's too much, but that's okay. I tend to overdo. It's just a thing, all right? So we've got that ready to go, and that's gonna be fine and lovely. So let me just, before anything gets crazy, I actually did spill a container of these a couple months ago when I was first making the cards for Swap. Yeah, all over the place. Awesome. All right, now I'm just taking the backing of the strips off, and then I'm gonna set it down, and then that's our shaker. Super easy, right? Super easy. The products make it easy to do these things. Okay, everything's sticky. There we go. Let's pull it down a little. Now I want the sides lined up as best I can. And then I'm going to stick it down, and wherever it lands, because I'm only going to stick it down once, right? Okay. I think that's pretty good. Let's see how, there we go. We've got our beautiful shaker, and that's pretty by itself. I mean, you could just leave it like that and not even add the top piece, but we're going to add the top piece because we're extra, right? Okay. So what we're going to add then is this beautiful glittery shimmer paper. And I'm just going to do that with some glue. All right. I can see I've got a couple little things here that still need to be punched out. See if I can do this with the glue and not making too much of a mess. Okay. Anyway, let's get this here. Do you guys like shaker cards? I feel like I really like shaker cards. And so in the new catalog, there's a new set, and it's still in a box downstairs because I haven't had time to unpack my Stampin' Up order. But it was on the pre-order, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's got some, it's again multicolored, very pretty, got some little stars in it, so that's going to be really pretty for something. I can't remember which suite it goes to, but fun new toys to play with, right? All right, this too, I want to make sure I'm going to place in the right spot because this is kind of a do it right the first time thing because we don't want to smear glue on our window sheet, right? Okay, I think that's pretty good. Oh, you're welcome, Jolene. Okay, so I'm just going to put a block on it for a minute just to kind of hold it in place, make sure that the glue starts to dry. All right, in the meantime, what I can do is take my snips and throw away all these scraps. Okay, and I'm just going to cut around the edges of this. And the reason I did that was I didn't want this to take up too much room on the card and kind of take away from the embossing and the butterfly. So I just kind of wanted to minimize the space that this took up. So I decided just to cut around. And it only takes a minute to do this. Just leave a little bit of a border. Doesn't have to be perfect. I think it's a really, really pretty font. It kind of goes with the theme of butterflies, right? It's kind of flowy. Maybe we'll see butterflies soon. I haven't seen any butterflies yet, but it really feels like summer here. Hi, Lisa. Thanks for sharing. All right. All right, I'm just still cutting off in little pieces. It just makes it easier for me if I can get some of the bulk out while I'm cutting. All right, and this I'm just going to take some liquid glue again and just glue it down to the front. I didn't pop it up or anything. Okay. All right. I kind of don't even know what set, so it's kind of a tricky time right now because there's a lot of stuff, online exclusives, there's a lot of things to choose from. Some of the catalog stuff's going to go away, so I'm kind of struggling with, you know, what do I want to do still before the new catalog comes out and we start using the new catalog stuff, you know. So if you guys have any ideas, help me out. What should we do? What set should we use? I don't know. There's the hibiscus set. There's just like so many sets I haven't had time to use. I always have good intentions, and then and there's just not enough time to use every set you want to use. It's just the way it is. All right, a little bit of liquid glue on the body, and this is going to kind of get tucked underneath a little bit. So I kind of want to line the antenna up first for placement. Okay, just like that. Now, the card is pretty much done, except for I added a few extra little sparkles on the front, and I just took them right out of the mix. So let me open the mix back up, and we'll just pick a few things to kind of go. We'll put 3 over here, so 1, 2, 3 over there. Let me get my take your pick. All right, what shall come up? This one's pretty. Maybe one of these blue ones, little mirrored blue ones, and one of these pretty white ones. Clear. All right, let's do 3 more over here. 1, 2, 3. And try and pick something different. We have these berry burst little mirrored, like they're like little, I don't know, pentagon mirrors or, whoops. Well, that one's a straight one. Let's see if we can get one of those. Pretty. And we'll just be random, right? Another one of these. That one's a little bit smaller than the other one, and I feel like you can't have too many of these either. Whoops. Okay, and then we'll just put a couple more down here. And then we're going to call this card done. All right, maybe another one of these. Whoops, maybe we'll put it on right side up. Now look at that, I got glue all over it. Good thing it dries clear, right? Okay, come on, stick. And you could also use sequins or anything else that you find. This looks like a silver sequin, or is that blue too? I don't know, but it looks fine. So if you don't want to bother with these little bitty pieces, you know, there's other things you could use on this card, even clear rhinestones. All right, you guys, so that's it. That's our first card for tonight. There we go. Yeah, Jolene, it is hard to figure out what's sticking around. I feel like I have to go online now and just look stuff up all the time because I just can't. It's hard. It's like before I make anything now, I have to just look it up and see, is it retired? Is it last chance? What is it? I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's hard to keep up with. That's it. Okay, let's do our next card. So I think the next one we're going to do is kind of this stained glass card. So a little bit brighter colors, right? A little bit of black in there. All right, so this one is pretty easy too. It just takes a minute. We're going to do some embossing. So card pieces for this one. And I did order some cardstock too because the prices will be going up. So I did go ahead and order some cardstock. Good idea, Jolene. Good idea. Okay, so this one, I did cut an extra 5 1/4 by 4 just to stamp and color something on the inside. If I were to use any alcohol markers just right here, they would show through to the back. So if we're going to do anything on the inside, I'm going to add an extra little piece. Now, I used the thick basic white. It's coming back. It's not available right now. 8 1/2 by 5 1/2 square to 4 1/4. You could also just use regular basic white, and that's what I put on the PDF because there's a lot of layers on this card, so it's going to be thick enough, right? We're going to have 2 layers on here. We're going to have another layer on the inside, so just the basic white by itself will be enough. Okay, 5 1/4 by 4 just for doing the butterfly. And then we're going to have our layers. This is the bokeh paper that I showed you. So this one is 5 1/4 by 4. We've got a black, and this is 5 by 3 3/4. We've got this one. Now, I can attach this one to the black, but I don't want to put the black down yet because we're going to do some tie ribbon around it. All right. So let me just put this down, and we'll come back to this in a minute. In the meantime, let's get embossing. Because I want to get, oh, really, I shouldn't have done that either because I want to do some stamping and embossing on here. But I think it'll 2 layers. It should be fine. Okay, so the butterfly. We're going to take this big butterfly. Here's the stamp. We're going to stamp it in Versamark and then emboss it in black. So I'm going to start with my embossing buddy and make sure I use it because we're going to have little black dots all over the place, right? Okay, and then where's my Versamark? Let's get this all inked up. And it's a big stamp, so I want to make sure I'm getting Versamark everywhere on it. And then do it again because, you know, I'm a little obsessive like that. But I want to make sure that I'm going to get a good image on here, okay? So I'm just going to put it down. Doesn't matter where because we're going to die cut it. All right. Now I want to make sure I press down really good so the Versamark's in all the places. Okay. All right. Now let's get out our black embossing powder. And let me get my little tray so I can try not to get black embossing powder all over. It's like Easter grass or, you know, it just will keep showing up and keep showing up. Even though I've already scrubbed my desk down, I still am finding black powder. Okay. So again, just some simple embossing. Oh, did we miss some pieces, some places here? Nope, I think we're good. All right, we got a pretty good image that time. I have struggled with this a little bit, and I'm just adding one more coat just to be sure. But there was a couple things you could do. If you're not getting a good image the first time, if you have a little bit of a miss spot or anything, there's some tricks that you can do with it. And I'll tell you while we're embossing what they are. Okay, let me move this aside and this aside. Let me get out my little brush. And again, we're cutting it out, so I really don't care too much about the edges. I just kind of care what's close. Make sure there's not any little black dots that are going to get embossed too close. All the while trying not to screw up my image, because I have a tendency to do that. Okay, let's heat emboss. Okay, now, if you don't want to heat emboss, you could just stamp this in Memento and then color it in with the alcohol marker. So you don't have to emboss. I like the way the embossing looks because it's shiny and it's darker and kind of stands out. So that's kind of why I'm doing it like this. And it's super easy to color because I don't really have to stay in the lines with the black embossing, right? So I like doing that. Now, if you miss a spot on here, after it's embossed and it's dry, you can either fill in with a little bit of your black marker. I use the Stampin' Up marker. But what you have to do is make sure you wait for it to dry, because otherwise you're going to get little black smeared all over the place on your hands if you touch it, right? So you have to do that. Or the other thing, which I'll show you in a second, that you could do. Let me just make sure this looks pretty good. Make sure I didn't miss any spots. Okay, that looks really good. Let me show it up close so you can see how shiny and pretty it is. That's a really good image. We're going to color that in a second. The other thing you can do is Amazon sells a Versa marker. So after you do this, if there's any spots that were missed, you could go back and use the Versa marker. Look, I've even got black underneath my nails yet. Now, black powder. And it has two sides, just like our Stampin' Up, right? So it's got like a brush side and a pen side. And you can fill in and then add more black embossing powder and finish that way, right? So that's a handy little thing to have. Stampin' Up does not sell this, but you can get it on Amazon. It's a Versamark marker. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's get out some markers. And I'm going to do the Dark Berry Burst. And we're just going to, stained glass, so randomly pick some sections to color in these different colors. And we're going to do this in 3 different colors. All right, so while I'm coloring this in, let me tell you about my little trip a week ago or so. I guess it was almost 2 weeks now. So it'll be, so it was on a Wednesday, and the first part of the trip was supposed to be a business trip. So that was for Wednesday and Thursday, like half a day on Thursday. Well, we were at the airport. Our flight was super crazy early. It was like at 7 o'clock. So, we had to get up at 3, be to the airport by 5. And we were 3 minutes away from boarding the plane when the weather in Chicago was so bad. It was one of those days where they were having severe weather and bad storms. And so right away, like 3 minutes before we were supposed to board, we were going to be delayed by 3 hours. And so then we were trying to decide what to do because it was only a day-and-a-half business trip. And as it turns out, it ended up getting delayed. We wouldn't have got there till almost 4 p.m., 3-something p.m. in the afternoon. And we were only supposed to be doing our stuff until 5 and then go to dinner. So we ended up canceling the trip, which was fine. We had to get our luggage back and all that stuff. And we ended up then going back to work. There was 5 of us from, my center that we were all going. So, so my business trip ended up getting canceled. But it was also supposed to be a business/personal trip. So I still wanted to get to Chicago because I had family stuff planned. And then I was taking a watercoloring class. And so this watercoloring class was in Iowa with Dina Rico. And so I really didn't want to miss it. I had already paid for the class. So, I was, didn't want to do that. Hotel, car rental, had everything set up. So I was kind of bummed about that. So I was trying to book a flight for the next day then, when the weather would be back to normal. And it was like $1,000. You know how it is if you try and book airline last minute, right? So $1,000. And I was like, oh no, I'm going to have to cancel. I cannot do $1,000 to go to Chicago. If I'm going to spend $1,000 on a plane ticket, I want to like go to Hawaii or something, right? No offense to Chicago. I'm just saying. It's a short trip is what I'm saying, and that's all. So $1,000 was too much. So I was kind of struggling at work with that and almost had to cancel my trip. And then I was looking at the airline one more time. It was United. And then something popped up that I had miles. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have enough miles to get a ticket. So I was able to book my ticket for free with miles that I had that I didn't even really realize I had. It's not that I fly United that often, but I do have a United credit card, so I had accumulated miles. So I got to rebook. So I left Thursday evening, got there Friday, stayed with my daughter and, you know, the grandkids, everybody, and then drove to Iowa Friday morning, just in time for the class. And this retreat was Friday, Saturday, and half a day on Sunday. So then on Sunday, I drove back from Iowa back to Chicago to spend time with my, you know, kids and grandkids. So it turned out really good. It was really fun. And I have to tell you, I don't know if any of you guys follow Dina, but she is an amazing, talented Stampin' Up demonstrator, but her watercoloring skills are fabulous. I mean, really, really, really good. So I learned so much. I had such a good time. It was amazing. So if you guys are ever thinking, she's got registration open for another one right now. And it was, you know, you meet new friends. It was just so, so relaxing. I missed a piece in my peach pie. So I don't know if I told you guys, I'm also using dark peach pie and dark lemon lolly. So all the darks of those three colors. So anyway, super fun retreat. You know, I really know nothing about watercoloring. I just went with pretty much no talent at all. And she taught us how to do a bunch of things. So, oh, Renee, thank you. Yeah, she just pointed it out. You saw me miss it, right? Okay, after that is done, take your die, cut out the butterfly. Okay, so here I have one already done and cut out. So we're ready for that. I'll show you guys in a few minutes some of the projects I made at Dina's house with the coloring. Really fun. Okay, now we still have one little piece. And again, you could stamp this. You don't have to emboss it, but I'm going to emboss it. I need my little hello, and I'm going to emboss it in black. So same routine, except it's a little bit faster because it's smaller. So I'm hoping, I mean, obviously we're trying to talk her into having another one next year, like a part 2, so we can all get together again and have more fun a year from now. So, you know, everything turned out great. I was happy to do my class. I was happy to see my family. I colored Easter eggs with the grandkids. Super fun. It was super sweet of Nicole, my daughter, to want to do that since it was so early for Easter. It's not like the eggs will keep, right? So that was super sweet, and it was super fun to be able to do that. Okay, a little bit more heat here. Okay, up close you can see how shiny that is, right? All right, let's finish this up. I'm going to take some peach pie ribbon to kind of match one of the colors that we colored with. We're just going to tie a bow around here. If you think the bow is too much, you can always tie a knot. That would work too. See what I mean? Look, I've got little black embossing powder all over my nails now. Too funny. All right, snip that off. Let's attach this to the front of the card. Once I get the black off. Let me just take my little, adhesive eraser. I don't know, I smeared something there. I need to get that off. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna add this on with some dimensionals, and I'm just gonna bend it on either side of the body a little bit just with my fingernail, so it's gonna kind of sit up like this. And I'm just gonna take 3 dimensionals and put some dimensionals to kind of hold it. And dimensionals are super sticky, right? They're a really strong adhesive, so I feel like that works, especially because we're going over the ribbon. So I'm just gonna put my 3 dimensionals here, and we'll attach our butterfly. Now, on the inside, couple choices for the inside, and I don't want to go too much over here because this has to fit in the envelope, right? So I think right about here, make sure it's sitting up a little bit. All right, so for our inside, you could take another strip of that bokeh paper if you wanted. I was thinking of just doing a small butterfly. And so all I'm gonna do is just take the small butterfly image. Let me clean it off again. Just stamp it in Memento. And I'm working kind of low tonight, sorry. For the inside. And then do that same stained glass look, just with a couple of the markers, same colors. Random places on here. Let's see. A lot of coloring tonight, right? Go here. I'm kind of being a little bit messy because I'm kind of trying to hurry. You could also, it says hello, so you could do another sentiment on the inside if you want. You could do a happy birthday, whatever you want. Whatever you need to say to someone. Did y'all send out Easter cards? Does anybody send out Easter cards? Okay, let's get some more of that dark peach pie. I don't think I'm gonna, we should be almost done with the coloring, right? Because I did color ahead some stuff. So don't worry, there's not too much more of the coloring in the video. If you're watching the replay, you can always fast forward. I don't know why my sheet keeps falling down. Almost finished. All right, let's add some of the lemon lolly, and then we'll be done. But these are pretty butterflies, aren't they? I think Stampin' Up! Did a good job. I think they're really pretty. Oh, this one should have been orange. I keep missing little outside ones. Well, it's gonna be a little bit yellow, which is fine. All right, let's put this on the inside. And so now we're just kind of taking our stained glass look to the inside, right? So there we go. There's the inside of the card. All right, lastly, we want to embellish just a little bit. Put this up one more time. You stay there. So I'm taking some of these newer, these are the neutral matte dots. And let me pull some of these out. Ugh. And let me try and wash some of that ink off my hand. Okay, and we're just going to put some of these matte dots around. Whoops. Okay, that's it. Card number 2. The coloring took a minute, right? All right, you guys. I hope you liked that one. Okay, let's move on. We're going to do this one next. And like I said, I think this one might be my favorite. And keep in mind, too, what I didn't pull out, it was Wink of Stella. You can see it here, but you can Wink of Stella your butterflies, too. So feel free to put that right over your ink. And me, too, Renee, same thing. I didn't do too many Easter cards this year. And as a matter of fact, I've only sent one so far. So running out of time for that. Okay. All right, let's go on to the next one. So this is the gatefold card. I'm using these arches. This is the Everyday Arches. These are currently unavailable, but they'll be back within the next couple weeks. And I have not played with these yet, but what a great set of dies. Any size you could want. So I went 1, 2, 3, 4. I did these two in here. So there's 4 smaller and 4 larger. So 2 kind of the middle ones. All right. If you get the kit, I will die cut these for you because they're not part of the butterfly set. You just need to have the butterfly set. The other stuff I die cut for you. Also using for the sentiment our Stylish Shapes dies. Okay. All right. Here are our pieces for this card. Now, let me show you this paper. Right? Isn't this pretty paper? Take a look at this paper. I love the colors, of course. Very pretty. This is, surprisingly enough, a new online exclusive, Celebratory Sips. I think is this in the catalog or online exclusive? Anybody know? I'm not sure now. I can't remember if it's in the new catalog or not. But anyway, this is coming out. This is a pre-order item. But if you get the kit, I'll send you, you know, the paper, obviously, to make the cards. But, so this one's really fun. And I think I showed you a card before. I had made a card already with the Celebratory Sips paper, right? And we have these cute little drink paper. But it also has gorgeous, gorgeous flowers. So let me just show you a few of the papers, right? So we're using this on the box. This is the one we're using for gatefold. And look at these nice patterns on the back. Wouldn't this green be great for something? Our little drink, some dots, some bigger drink ones that you can just cut out. As you can see, I've done that. Some more pattern on the back. Look at this with the little fruit and the, what do you call that? Like from the orange, when you peel the orange. And this is kind of a darker color right here on the back. So anyway, fun paper. Here's some more like watercolory looking squares. Look at that. Isn't that a fun? And some of these are, I think some of these are the new in colors. Let me check the colors really quick. Berry Burst, Blackberry Bliss, Bubble Bath. So those are kind of what we're basing our card on tonight. Cloud Cover, which is new. Old Daffodil Delight, Lemon Lime Twist, Old Olive, Peach Pie, Pretty in Pink, Secret Sea, Strawberry Slush, Timid Tighter. So 4 of the new in colors are in this paper. Super fun. Okay, so this is our gatefold paper. Berry Burst again. And so this is 8.5 by 5.5. But now we're scoring it at 2 1/8 on both sides. So it's going to fold in like this, right? Open in the middle. All right, so that's our card base. On the inside, we're going to do a 5 1/4 by 4, and we're just going to put in this strip. All right, that's all we're going to do for the inside for now. You can add your another sentiment or just write in your greetings later. But let's just put this on the inside and be done with the inside. Do you guys like a gatefold? I love a good gatefold card. It's one of my favorites. It's one that really, I feel like, helps showcase some beautiful paper. And then, you know, in the middle, you have some nice design that you're also showcasing. Some nice, pretty elements in the middle. So I just think it's a special card, which is why I love doing it. Okay, card base ready. All right, so we might as well put these on too. So these end up being 5 1/4 by 1 7/8. And we're just going to put these on either side of the front of our gatefold. And these will be centered. Okay, so there we go. All right, next, let's take our piece. This is 1 inch Berry Burst and about 10 1/2. I think this is 11 inches, so I just didn't cut it down yet. So I'm just going to wrap it around and then wrap it around the other side. And you can see, because I didn't cut it down, how long it is. We really don't need it that long, so you can cut off a little bit of it, right? Just like right down here, so our fold's kind of in the middle, and that's going to be covered up. So I'm just going to take a little bit of seal and just put it together like that. firm but not too tight. We want it to be able to slide back and forth but not fall off. All right, so we've got that going. Now, what we want to do next, we're going to do our butterflies. Okay, so we're going to stamp these in Memento. The same butterfly that we just used, right, in Memento. So just stamp 2 of these. That is not a good stamp. It's not dark enough. Much better. These are going to be colored and die cut. And we're going to use Berry Burst, Bubble Bath, just the 2 colors. So you can kind of see how I've colored them here, right? Again, just kind of random, stained glass looking. So just the 2 colors. That is the dark Berry Burst and Bubble Bath, okay? With your blends. Super easy. And then I threw a little bit of Wink of Stella on them, die cut them. So let me get those out. So we have them ready to go. I don't think I Wink of Stella'd mine yet. So let's add a little bit of that. Where is my Wink of Stella? All right, because we want sparkly butterflies, of course, don't we? So on these, I'm just going to do the Berry Burst, but certainly you could do the whole butterfly. And we'll just add a little bit of sparkle. We'll let that dry while we start working on our card. All right, sparkly butterflies. Okay. Perfect. All right. 2 arches. And again, I will cut these out for you if you get the kit. So I have the bigger one in Old Olive, the smaller one that's going to be basic white. Now, before we put anything on this, I just want to add a little spritz to give the background a little bit. So there's also a stamp that you could use in here. See this little dotted stamp? So you could also do some dots in the background. But I chose just to take a couple markers. And where's my Old Olive? So I'm just going to do my Old Olive. Let's do light. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, and I'm just going to spritz some on here. Okay. And then I don't want it just to be one color, so I'm also going to add some Berry Burst. And we'll do a little bit more spritzing. Just a little bit of background. Okay. Let me show that up front, up close a little bit. See, so we've got a little bit of spritz. Okay, so now we can glue that down with some adhesive and put our layers together. All right. This, let's tie a little bit of ribbon. Now I chose, for the card I chose this ribbon here, which is like a 1/4 inch white woven ribbon. But I thought, wouldn't it look pretty with this iridescent ribbon, which I think is still available because I think this was in the annual catalog. So let's try it with this too. So we have 2 choices. See which one we like better. Make sure I have enough. There's lots of white ribbons out right now, right? So you could choose any white ribbon that you want. We're going to tie it over to the side here. You can add a little dot of adhesive on the back of this band if you want to make sure that your ribbon's going to stay in place. You don't really have to. Oh, look at, I speckled my hands. I've got glue dots and embossing powder on my nail. I'm a mess. But crafting is messy, right? All right, so let me make this a little bit, so I want it to kind of go on the side, so let me just kind of twist it this way. And we've got a bow like that. Still too big. Don't like it's quite so big. All right, 3rd time's a charm, right? I can get my fingers in there, or not. Well, okay, I think I'm pretty good with that. Looks fine. Let's cut it off. We'll see if this one's better than the plain white. Okay, now we can go ahead and add some dimensionals, and I'm going to put them right on top of the ribbon, kind of hold it down, and I'll just put 4 of them on here. Again, they're super strong, so this is going to hold our arch in place pretty well. Okay, so here we go for our arch, right in the middle of the card like that. All right, we're going to put our butterflies on. I'm going to do the same thing I did before, kind of bend them at the body on both sides. So we've got 2 little bends there, so they kind of stick up and look pretty. Now, if you wanted to accent this too, you could accent this either with some gems, or there's another little die you could cut out, a little die of black or a different color. Let me get out my minis, and we'll attach these with mini dimensionals. So if you guys want to stick around after we're done making the cards for a minute, I'll show you some of the projects that I did at the watercolor retreat. This one up here. And this one right here. All right, we need a sentiment. We have this Berry Burst label cut out. Let's stamp Happy Birthday. And I'm just gonna stamp that in one of the colors that's in the paper. And that is the Blackberry Bliss. And I didn't pull that one out. So let me, it's behind my camera, so let's see if I can finagle it without messing up the camera. All right, this obviously is the perfect size for this sentiment, right? Thank you, Stampin' Up, for always making everything fit so nicely. Let's use some dimensionals for this. Now, for embellishments, we're going to do one of my favorite things to do, which is just color some clear rhinestones. I mean, the clear rhinestones are so economical. They're inexpensive. You get a lot of them. And you can make them any color that you want. So that's pretty awesome. Okay, so I have a new package. Let me open it. I like to cut it on the side so I can just pull it out the side. I don't like to mess with all the opening and closing of everything. Okay, so Dark Berry Burst again. All right, so what do I have? A small, a medium, and a large. A large, a medium, and a small. All right, just color those with the alcohol marker. You can see they take the color really well. And we can just pick them up then and put them on our card. Just like that. All right, I think we're finished with the third card already. How are we doing on time? I think we're doing okay. All right, there we go. So which ribbon do you guys think? I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence myself. I'm not sure which ribbon I like better. I don't know. I'm not sure. Either one. This is sparkly to match the sparkly, but then the white really stands out and matches the white. So I don't know. All right, that was card number 3. Oh, and by the way, the stained glass one, I did a purple one too. Where I used Petunia Pop, and I used Fresh Freesia, and I used a little bit of Bubble Bath on that one too for the pink. So just FYI, if you wanted to do, you could do this. I showed you the paper. You could do this in any of the colors. Calypso Coral. This is kind of a purple one. So just an alternative card that I made for that. Okay, lastly, let us make a little treat box, right? So this would be cute for Easter or just a spring gift. I feel like I didn't kind of bend this one enough. There we go. Again, using some different colors, right? Well, not real different, Berry Burst, we're going to use Lemon Lolly, and then we're going to use Peach Pie. So we didn't use any different colors. I lied. All right, so what are we going to put in our box? Well, our friend Little Debbie has spring butterfly cakes. So yes, we need some butterfly cakes. That one was kind of messed up. So look how delicious and cute these are, right? So we've got some little butterfly cakes. We're going to use that. Little Debbie's gone crazy. Like, Little Debbie has so many products now. It's kind of crazy. You could get like a million different things. And she's got ice cream and stuff, which I have not tried. But yeah. Okay, so what do we need for this project? Keeping it simple. Didn't go crazy. I could have done a fancy flap. I could have done a slide out box. I just did a plain simple box. Sometimes by the time I get to the 3D project, I want to just do something simple, make it easy, because we spent a lot of time doing some other stuff on the cards, right? Okay, so this is easy. I took Berry Burst. It's 8.5 by 8.5. I have scored it at 1.5 and 7 inches, right? So on this side, I've got 1.5 and I've got 7 inches right here. Flipped it around, and this side I scored at 2.5, 4, which is 6.5, and 8. So I just have this little piece right here. So now all I'm going to do is go ahead and burnish it in all the places. So let's just get all our lines together. Super easy. That one's already done. Okay. All right, now we need to do a little bit of cutting. So we have this little skinny side right here, right? This is like a 1/2 inch right on this side. We're just going to cut off these little pieces in the corner, right? Because we don't need these. This is going to be the part where we attach the box and close it. So let's just cut these off. Okay. Then we have on each side we have these 4 boxes. So I just want to cut these right up the middle. Sometimes I like my longer scissors for this, so I can just do it in like one quick cut, but we'll use the smaller ones. So we're just going to cut up those lines. And then on the smaller square looking ones, we are just going to cut off the corners. And that just makes it look a little more finished and easier to close, right? All right, same thing on the other side. Did I get all my pieces off? Almost. Flip it around and just go up to the next score line and cut the corners off, the ones that look closest to small squares. That's it. Super easy, right? So I'm going to use, glue is probably the best thing to use for this, but you have to wait a minute for it to dry, and I'm impatient, especially on camera. So I'm going to take some Seal Plus, okay? This is going to get folded over here, and I'm just going to run a line of Seal Plus on here because I know it's going to be strong and sticky. Seal Plus, now you can see I kind of went over the edge a little bit, so I can just fold that back on itself. It's not a problem because I don't want any sticky things hanging out. All right, so I'm going to have it flat and fold it in half this way. Okay, now we've got a box. All right, we've got our box like that. So now we want to take our flaps, and you can see this is the edge of the box on this side, so that's going to be the back of the box. I want that to be in the back. All right, so when I take these flaps, and I'm just going to add, hold on, a little bit of glue. Here's my glue. I don't have much room because the box is kind of tall. I'm going to hit my phone. All right, so I want to fold this piece in first. So the finished side is going to be towards the back and towards the back. All right, now I want to make sure that's all squared up and lined up fine, and hold it for a minute. All right, now we can put our butterfly cakes inside. We're not going to glue this side because we're just going to hold it shut with some ribbon. Okay, so we're going to tuck in our flaps, and this is going to be shut like that. All right, now we just have a simple little box. Okay. All right, so let's think about what we want to do for decorating. And we have a couple pieces. I have peach pie. So I have this piece right here. And this is, sorry, I got distracted for a minute. I was looking for something. 5 1/4 by 2 1/4 peach pie. 5 inches by 2 inches of that pretty cardstock, the Celebratory Sips cardstock. And this is just going to go on the front, nice and easy. I love these colors together. I think they look really pretty. All right, so let's just attach this to the top of the box. Now, if you wanted to get really crazy, you could do this on all sides of the box too, but I just did it on the top. I felt like it was enough. And just brings attention just to the top. I'm going to take some more of the peach pie ribbon, and now I'm going to close my box that has my treat in it. So let me make sure I have enough ribbon here. I think I have too much. And this way the ribbon's gonna be on this side, so whoever you give the treat to can just undo the ribbon on this side and just get their treat out. Super easy to access. Okay, let's trim it up a little bit. Now we need to decorate the front, and we're gonna do that with a beautiful butterfly. So we still have that piece from the first card where we cut it out. And it's embossed already, so we have our embossed butterfly. This is going to be the background of our butterfly. All right, we're going to do another layer. So you have a piece of just basic white cardstock in your kit if you get it. You're going to die cut it. Let me show you which one. Again, we're going to use this one right here. So you want to die cut that. And also die cut, I gave you an extra little piece of paper to die cut the body, so do that in the white also, so both those pieces get cut out. And then you have this nice short little label, cut that out of this piece. All right, so you're going to cut out 3 things, and let me pull those out for us now in my little stash I have over here. So I have the body, the butterfly, and I need a label. All right, got everything. Now, we're going to do a little bit of blending, all right? So when I first tried this, first I did it with some markers, and that didn't look so good. Let's see if I saved it. Because I couldn't get the different colors to blend together. So you can see how kind of stark they look and didn't really blend together with the blends. So then I decided to pull out my, my blends. And that's just what we're going to do. So I'm going to start with the darkest color and just start with the tip of the butterfly wings. So just here, and we're kind of going from darker to lighter. We want to save enough room for some of our other colors, okay? And then we're also going to go up the middle with the dark, just like this. All right, so this is what we have so far. We're going to get our next color, which is going to be peach pie. And I'm going to take that and do that right next to this color right here on both sides. Okay, let's get a little bit of the lemon lolly next. And another blending brush. And that kind of blends in with the orange. Okay, that only took a few seconds, right? Not too long. Okay, this is what we have. I guess, and it will lighten up. Those ink colors will lighten up a little bit. They're not going to stay that dark. Okay, we are going to next stamp For You in Berry Burst on our label. Again, sentiment of your choice, whatever you would like. Could be a little birthday box. Could be an Easter box, whatever sentiment you like, for you. And then lastly, I just want to color this little body in Lemon Lolly with one of my markers. And so you could also cut it out of, did I have one to show you? You could cut it out of Lemon Lolly paper, but I thought it looked better if we colored it. It was just like a little brighter, a little bit more vibrant. I found coloring it. So that's all I'm going to do for that. Okay, there's our little butterfly body all colored. All right, we have our pieces. Let's put that together. Get my things out of here. So I'm just going to glue this piece to this piece and kind of line it up. And start by lining up the wings. And it fits nicely on here, doesn't it? But once you put it on, you can see how it looks funny with the body, right? So we need a little body over it. Oh, thanks, Renee. Renee said the scrap I was blending on in the background was pretty. Yes, making another little creation while we're doing it, right? All right, here we go. Got stuff all over. So we're going to fix the butterfly with the body. And that fits right in very nicely. I must have some ink on my hands. Shocking. Hold on. Okay. All right, butterfly. Let's use dimensionals to put it onto our box. We're going to put the sentiment. I just used a little bit of adhesive to put the sentiment down right here. Let's get some dimensionals and put this butterfly on. Ugh. I think we can get by with 2. All right, butterfly right about here. This can be angled a little bit better like that, I think. All right, pretty, right? Okay, let's embellish. Again, same thing. We're going to use some rhinestones with the Dark Berry Burst. So I'm just doing a large one and 3 small ones. And we're just going to decorate our butterfly and put this large one right here. And we're just going to put some of these on the body. Now, again, if you wanted, you could Wink of Stella this also to make it sparkly. Up to you if you want to do that. So there is our butterfly box. All right, let's bring our projects back and take another look. Again, if you would like me to send you the kit to make these cards, I send the embellishments, the ribbon. You have to do the die cutting, all the cardstock, right? All you have to do is place a $50 order or more at my website. Count me in as the demorator by Saturday. No more host codes, and you can get the make and takes for free. All right, so we made our pretty little shaker card. We did kind of our stained glass butterfly cards. And we did our gatefold little butterfly cards. And then our delicious treat boxes. All right, you guys. Well, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Trying to keep up with all the Stampin' Up! Changes. I'm not going to do, because with the Stampin' rewards that I was getting on group orders, I used to do, get all the free embellishment stuff to give away. So I'm not going to be doing that anymore. If you would like the instructions for this, I'll send them in tomorrow's email if you're on my email list. If not, just email me. I'll be happy to send them. Yes, Renee, for sure. Don't laugh at my painting, though. It's, remember, first time, okay? Keep that in mind as you look. Couple of kits. Check out the new kits that are out. If you're a kit person, I have this. I haven't made it yet. Maybe by next time I'll have a chance to make it and show you what it looks like up close and personal. Paper pumpkin, a new one. This is kind of a more masculine Father's Day paper pumpkin, right? And you can also get the extra dies. So just some reminders there. All right, let me show you a couple of the things that we did in Dina's class. So, I don't know. Again, flowers, so we kind of started with just learning some basic strokes, right? And these aren't all the projects. These are just some of them. Let me move these aside so this is kind of flatter. These are some flowers that, you know, again, very first time-ish, trying out some different things that she taught us. Some other flowers where we were kind of embellishing with white markers, gold markers, black markers, just some other flowers. That one's not finished. Some rainbows with stenciling and a little bit of doodling on those. This one we were doing kind of a technique with the tape and just the watercolor, and I added some gold watercolor paint to that. So that was this, I could do a card out of, right? Just learning some more techniques with just doing rectangles and doodling and adding the gold watercolor paint. So that one. This one right here, just doing some plain round and doodling. So did that one. Kind of, you can tell I like to use bright colors, right? And then this was kind of, again, some techniques with different colors and doodling. And so just some fun beginner projects. But it was fun. If you get a chance, you guys should sign up for it. It was loads of fun. Perfect hostess. Food was great. I mean, she fed us, which was amazing. And learning how to watercolor, lots of resources, gave us some book ideas, lots of supplies, came home with tons of supplies. So I can't say enough about it. It was super amazing. Thanks, Jolene. All right, you guys. It was super great to see you guys again. I'll be here next week because, like I said, I'm not going to be traveling now for a couple months. So I'll try and figure out what we should do next week. In the meantime, you guys have a great week. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, bye-bye.